Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video we'll be looking at the French pump lock Laperche Rolls. So as you can see, I did not got this lock because first of all it's a monoblock format and these are notoriously annoying to get, and most importantly it's not my lock, so I don't wanna risk damaging anything, which I probably would. So I will try to explain as best as I can how does this lock work. But if you want to see the insides, there is a video by the Lock's Nest channel and he actually shows the innards of the cylinder, which is pretty interesting. So to startings off, here's our key. So you can see that it's already pretty funky looking key. This little piece actuates the core, so that's what tensions it. And if we look at the tip of the key, we can see that there are different cuts. So this lock is essentially a 6-slider lock. So and these sliders are arranged actually radially like this, and they need to be pushed inside of the cylinder. So these cuts represent the depths, how deep the slider is pushed. So obviously, sorry for the focus. Obviously, this one is sort of, let's call him a min lift. This is a medium lift, and this is like a really high lift because it pushes the slider like really deep. So that's our key. And let's see the cylinder itself. So as I said, this is a monoblock format, and the keyway looks like this. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see inside. I don't know if the lighting is good, but anyway, these sliders are kind of buried deep within the plug, and this steel part actually does not rotate. The only thing that rotates is the second half of the cylinder. Let's say it's kind of in here. So when you insert the key, this front part does not rotate. See, this is stationary, and it has a nice springy effect when you complete the revolution. Perfect. So the way these sliders work is that, as I mentioned, they need to be pushed into some depth. But what prevents this lock from turning is a metallic ring that sort of embraces the core like this. And out of this metallic ring, there are, let's call them prongs that stick out towards the inside of the cylinder, and there are 6 of them, and these prongs are in contact with these sliders. Of course, these sliders have one through gate, and as soon as these through gates align, there is nothing preventing these prongs from turning around. So that's the way this lock works. It's pretty interesting. I really recommend the video. I will link it in the description. And these sliders, what is important for us as speakers, have false gates, so these are pretty effective, and that leads me to the second part of this video, and that's how to actually pick this lock. So the first thing that's important is figuring out how to tension it, because as I said, this thing doesn't turn, right? So you need to find something that will be sort of buried inside of the lock, and that something could be your average paper clip. So I found this. I think I used something similar for the Tirard Cobra, and you sort of insert it in here, but there is actually a slider at this position, so you need to push that slider a little inside, and then you can apply some torque, right? So that's basically how to tension this lock. It's important to not only to choose the right depth, how deep to insert it, but you don't want to sort of hook it completely to the plug, because then it won't turn completely. This will prevent you from turning the lock. What is good, and I actually made use of it when I was picking it, you will see that after you get a certain degree of false set, you are able to remove the tensioner and sort of reposition it. So I did just that because I had a feeling that I'm blocking the rotation with it, so I sort of moved it a little bit higher so I could get some more binders and I could open the lock. Regarding the sliders themselves, they respond pretty well and pretty clearly to the jiggle test. So the way you're picking them is that you're pushing them inside. I was using this flag to do it. You can use some probe pick or anything, even a precision screwdriver. What's important is to look for their motion. So basically, if they are stuck and they are not moving inside, that means they are binding and you have to push them. And sometimes you have to overcome even 2 false gates, because sometimes there are 2 false gates before the true gate. But it's kind of important as well to figure out the binding order, because if you get a false set before you get out of false gates of some sliders, you will probably need to not to reset or at best to drop a lot more sliders than you normally would, because these false gates are very effective. That's like my point. They bite pretty hard and it's not easy to do any kind of float picking with binder clip. So you sort of want to try to preset some of the sliders. That's what I'm trying to say. You want to set even the half binding sliders to their correct depth, and after that you can proceed with the others and get your false set and maybe do some little corrections. Another thing, or probably the last thing I want to mention, is that these sliders act really tapered, so whenever you set a slider or whenever you pass a false gate, you need to check the ones you set before, because they really like to drop a little. The springs are pretty strong in here, so that's maybe something to watch out for. Alright, so I guess that covers it pretty much. And yeah, for the last time, I really recommend, if you want to see what's inside, to watch the Lock's Nest video. It's pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and get this lock picked. Alright, here we go. The key works perfect. Now the most important thing is to place this tensioner right so it does not interfere with anything, and most importantly not interfering with the rotation of the plug. So this should work. Okay. So we have our tension, so let's try to pick this lock. So number 1, pretty good. 2, very loose. 3, click there, and he's loose. Checking 1. Okay, couple of clicks there. It feels loose. 3 feels loose. 4, it's binding really hard. Okay, luckily I didn't overset it, but I pushed it pretty violently. So now he's almost in a gate. Okay, but not quite. So let's move to 5 in the meantime. Okay, 3 is loose. 4 is loose. 5 is binding. Click there. Now 6. Click out of 6. 3 is loose. 4 is loose. 5 is loose. How about 1? It's always a bit awkward. Okay. 1 is pretty loose. Click on 3. Click on 4. 6 is good. Almost all of these are pretty loose now. So I'm not sure where's the hold up. 1. good. 3. I think I'm blocking the rotation with this stupid tensioner. So I need to reposition it a little. Maybe like this. Now it will just slip out, I feel like. Okay, click on 3, click on 4, click on 5. Okay, 6 is bending. I don't want to overset it, obviously. Okay, I think I didn't, but I dropped a lot of other sliders, but 6 is in position. Okay. Clicks out of 5 and 4. 3 is good. 4 is good. 5 is good. 6 is good. What about 2? Okay, click out of 2, and I think we got an open. Yes, we do. Okay, so let's give you a close-up that we do have an open, because it's not always that obvious. So you can see that there's like a huge range of motion inside of the cylinder, right? And now I will relock it. Now there's not that much motion. Okay, so that was kind of awkward, but you know, you really should spend some time making quality tools and you will not have such problems like I did. But luckily enough, this paperclip worked after all, so I'm pretty satisfied with it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video on the Laperche Rolls, and see you next time with the next video. Bye.